Hey guys, so welcome to the cross-site request forgery course. That's also a very interesting vulnerability, web-based, where the attacker is able to send requests on behalf of the victim. Sometimes the victim even didn't notice it in order to, for example, perform some payments, buy stuff, and many other interesting attacks. So we're going to discuss about this specific vulnerability and, of course, the different types and how we can protect our organization. My name is Daniel Regalado. I am the lead author of Red Hat Hacking Book 4th edition. So the agenda is an overview about cross-site request forgery, what it is, how it works, some examples. We're going to have a case about Netflix some years ago where people was able to add movies or cancel accounts because of this attack. We're going to talk about the mitigation strategies, mitigation techniques, as usual. So let's understand cross-site request forgery. What it is? A forged HTTP request is sent on behalf of the victim browsers. It's a forged. You don't want to do it. That's the term. Normally, it's sent to a site where the victim is already authenticated. So let's say that the victim has an authenticated session in eBay or PayPal or Netflix, and then the attacker is going to try to use that session and is going to force the victim to go to a specific link, which can be to add a new movie, to make a payment, which is going to be done on behalf of the attacker for their own benefit, of course. This is going to cause an unexpected operation controlled by the attacker, as I said. So what are the requirements for this kind of exploitation? Well, the attacker must know the HTTP request for that forged operation. Normally, as I said, the attacker is going to attack specific operations, but those operations are inside that specific website. So let's suppose that an attacker wants to make a transfer, money transfer. So he needs to know the specific request to make a money transfer in that specific bank. That means the attacker must have an account into that bank. He needs to understand the traffic, and he needs to come up with the right operation, in this case, the right HTTP request, which needs to be sent by the browser to the website, online banking in this case, in order to perform a money transfer. That means the attacker must understand the target application in order to be able to force, or forced, in this case, the victim to perform that specific transaction. Okay? The victim just needs to have access to that specific session, in this case, online banking. And of course, the site must be vulnerable without being able to prevent this kind of attack. The victim's browser executes the instructions on behalf of the attacker. Obviously, the victim can also be lured or fooled into clicking on a specific URL, but as I said here, sometimes they don't even know it. Yes, the victim sometimes, they just are used by this kind of attack without even knowing that the browser, their browser, is doing that operation. Let's see the flow. So here is the end user or the victim. They log into PayPal. They have an access there. They get a session cookie, as you can see. And the attacker who knows that specific request in PayPal is going to send a request to the victim so that they can try to visit PayPal and doing a payment. In this scenario, there are two options. The attacker can use like cross-site scripting attack, send it to the victim so that the victim, when it receives the URL, it just redirects it to PayPal, or without the victim consent, or the attacker can kind of try to find a way to send the URL to the victim, or by the victim visiting the attacker's website. But at the end of the day, the attacker must force this victim into going to the PayPal, but with the specific URL being controlled by the attacker. If the attacker is able to do that, since the victim is already logged into PayPal in this case, then it's going to be able to, in this case, perform a payment on behalf of the attacker. So in this scenario, we saw that the victim is already connected. The attacker sends this URL, which is make a payment. And since that victim is already connected, they go click on the link and perform an operation that they were not expecting. Common targets, as I said, online banking, of course. Administration-only sections, sections where only administrators are able to get in. So the attacker can send a URL to add a new user and then add an account for himself, for example, so that they can get access to it. Online market, eBay, Alibaba, those places. Online payments, like PayPal, it's very important, as we saw. Online services, like Netflix or any other one.